Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over some of the latest updates in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
It's been a few months since our last update video, and Doodly has a big new one that just came out, 2.7. And this update allows users to use custom characters that have been exported from the new People Builder software. People Builder is a standalone program and is sold separately, but you can also use it to create custom characters in other image formats for websites, newsletters, flyers, and anything else. I even created a custom character for my iPhone's lock screen. So let's go back over here. I want to point out that even if you don't have the rainbow add-on, your People Builder characters can be used in full color. So for example, I'm going to go to Settings and I'm going to turn Doodly Rainbow on, and it's going to change them to full color. And this is true even if you did not purchase the Doodly Rainbow add-on. As you can see, you can make custom characters with various skin tones, genders, body shapes, hairstyles, poses, facial expressions, and clothing options. And it's super easy to use. Be sure to visit peoplebuilder.com to learn more and check out the tutorials for a deeper dive. Another great improvement in this update is the ability to delete multiple fonts and sounds at the same time. So for example, let's go over to sounds. In the past, you could do them one at a time by right-clicking and choosing delete. Now if you had a whole bunch of them that you wanted to delete at once, that's a pain. So for example, let's say I want to get rid of some of these older voiceovers from other projects. All I have to do is Control and Command click to select them. And now that they're selected, I'm going to right click and choose delete. And it's going to delete all of the ones that I've selected. And they're gone. The same is true of fonts, same process. I did want to mention a few older updates as it's really easy to overlook them. Oftentimes I'll quickly update Doodly without paying much attention to what's new, as I'm sure many of you do. Here's one that I like, the ability to insert a scene anywhere on the timeline. In the past, you could only add scenes by clicking this plus button, and then if you wanted it to appear at the beginning, you'd have to drag it over. And while that's easy enough, if you had a lot of scenes, it was a pain, trust me. So now, with this new feature, all you need to do is go into your timeline in the area that you would like it, right-click, and choose Insert. And now I have my blank scene right here. Now you may have noticed that you do have a Save As option now over here when you click the drop-down button by Save. Well, now you also have an option under the File menu to save, Save As, Close, or Export. Plus, there are now shortcuts. So if you need to save something, you just do Control or Command S to save, Control or Command Shift S to save as, Control or Command W to close, and Control or Command E to export. So if you like keyboard shortcuts, you're going to love that. Here's another one that I really like. It has to do with our fonts. In the past, if you wanted to update your font, if we go way back, you had to delete it and then start over from fresh. And then they added a feature where you could change the font by dragging it on top. And that was great because that saved a lot of time. But now, with one click, you have your font selected, and now you can just go through them, and that's so much easier, and I love it. And finally, here's one that I missed, and I'm so glad that I found it because it's really great. You can now add a custom background on the glassboard. So if you go into Settings and you want to turn it into a glassboard, you click on Glassboard, and then now if you go to Background and Browse File, instead of just only having the hand on the glass, you can add a custom image. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And I like this one. I think it'll look really pretty. And here it is. So let's just take a quick preview. I have my custom background on a glassboard. And that's what's new in Doodly. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this video, we're going to go over how to use the AIDA marketing framework in your Doodly videos.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
The AIDA framework is a marketing strategy that has been around for more than 100 years. That's right, it was created in 1898. The acronym stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. These are the 4 phases of the buying process. Have you ever seen a product that made your head turn? It caught your attention, right? Now that doesn't necessarily mean you were interested in it for yourself though. And that's part of where AIDA comes in. We want to get their attention, get their interest, create desire, and then prompt them to take action. As a marketer, you can use the AIDA framework in your Doodly videos to increase your chances of converting your viewers into customers. The first step, of course, is attention. You'll want to create an attention-grabbing introduction so that your viewers are compelled to continue watching your video. You really only have a few seconds to grab their attention, so keep that in mind. Next, you want to get the viewers interested in your product by telling them what it is and why they should care about it. Desire. Now this is where you want the viewer to really want your product. One way to do that is by showing how it will make their life easier or more fun, for example, or how it solves their problem or saves them money. The 4th step in the AIDA framework is action. You've got their attention, they're interested, and they want your product or service. They are ready to take action. You just need to give them the direction they need in order to do just that by adding a call to action at the end of the video. For example, you can tell them to click the Shop Now button or to go join your email list in order to learn more. So let's make a quick Doodly video using the AIDA framework for Acme water saving sprinklers. So you'll see here I wrote a little script using this framework. I've got my attention, are your water bills out of control? My interest, these are the most efficient, environmentally friendly way to water your lawn, blah blah blah, saving you money, da 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 da. Desire, you will never have to worry about wasting water and high water bills again. They're easy to install. So you see I'm doing benefits here, making it just irresistible. And then action, click here for a free estimate from our team today. So it's very simple. It's not the most exciting product. So hopefully it'll get people's attention, capture their interest and desire, and prompt them to take action. So let's get building it. Now in the interest of time, I've already started this video. I've got a few little props here for my opening scene. And I did add my voiceover already to my audio tracks. So I'm just going to drag that in and place it. Now, I know that this little section here is me saying, are your water bills out of control? And then over here, right here, it's going to say the next thing, Acme water sprinklers are super water efficient. So you'll see my scene is way too long. I need it to be 2 seconds because that's what I have for my opening. That is starting at 0. I'm going to make the water bill already at 0 and the water bill words already at 0 and the man at 0. And then I'm just going to have my dollar signs draw on. And they're going to just be 1.5 seconds. And I do have a little bit of a delay here. I have a 1 second delay at the end. And I think that's going to be pretty good. So let's take a quick look. Are your water bills out of control? And that's fine. So we're going to go on to scene 2. Our first scene was our attention-grabbing scene. Our second one is interest, and it's all about Acme water sprinklers. So let's go ahead and get an image of a water sprinkler. And now that I'm looking here, I kind of like this image for our first scene. Let's go back to scene 1. And let's add this in so that we get the idea that we're watering our lawn inefficiently. Okay, so now we have our interesting water sprinkler. Make it big. And then we need our logo over here. Let's just pretend this is our logo. Okay, so now we have scene 2, and we're going to talk about Acme water sprinklers are so efficient, and then maybe we'll zoom the camera in onto our logo just to make it interesting. Okay, so we're going to click over here. This is our pan and zoom tool, and that little plus sign adds it. And we're going to slide it over. Doesn't matter where at this point. Double click, and I want the start to be full screen. So I'm adjusting that so it's full, and I want the end to be on our logo. And we'll hit apply. And now we can preview and fine-tune the placement of this camera move. So I'm going to right-click and click preview.
Sprinkler systems are the most efficient and environmentally friendly way to water your lawn. They use less than half the amount of water as other.
I will adjust some timing here. Honestly, I think the logo should be already drawn on. I think it's too distracting. Logo's already in place. We're going to draw on the sprinkler, and then maybe we'll write in here 50% less water. You know, do some of the benefits in this little area here when it's zooming in. And that's looking a little bit better. So now I'm going to use the little preview. I've talked about it before. You get better control over what's playing, and it's great when you're trying to get timing worked out. Okay, so I need to, again, adjust some timing. I don't want 50% less coming on just yet. So I'm going to add about 3 seconds delay here, and we'll worry about the camera move in a minute.
Most efficient and environmentally friendly way to water your lawn. They use less than half the amount of water as other types of sprinklers, saving you money.
So saving you money needs another delay, say 2 seconds, and then I think Healthy Lawn will probably be okay. So again, we're just looking at timing right now, not worrying about the camera move.
Efficient and environmentally friendly way to water your lawn. They use less than half the amount of water as other types of sprinklers, saving you money on your monthly bills while preserving.
Yeah, and the timing is fine. I'm going to add a couple seconds at the end. And you'll see it ends right here with this pause, and then my next scene will come on, and that'll be fine. Now, this camera move, it comes in too early. I don't want it to come in until he starts writing. So see how I can control where my playhead is to right before he starts writing. And that's right here where I want the camera to start zooming in. So now I'm going to take my little camera effect and I'm just going to slide it over. So now when I hit play, it'll be zooming in. So let's move it back a little bit.
Water your lawn. They use less than half the amount of water as other types of sprinklers.
And that will be fine. So let's move on to our next scene. Now, if you recall, we had this character here, Phil, this elderly guy, and he was pretty worried about his water bill. So we want to use the same guy, or I kind of like this with the 2 hands up. So let's use this one. So ideally, someone who's worried about wasting water or frustrated with high water bills, struggling to pay their bills, all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, I want this. I want this sprinkler. So let's see how this one is timing out.
You'll never have to worry about wasting water and high water bills again with an Acme system installed.
So you'll notice a couple things. My timing is off, obviously, but my camera is still zoomed in. So what you want to do is you want to add a second camera move, and we're going to slide it over to the very beginning of this scene. I'm going to double click, and you'll see that it remembers the position from last time. And we don't want that. We want to start full screen, and we want to end full screen. And so really it's not a camera move at all, but we're telling it to become full screen again at this point. So let's go to scene settings, and I'm going to make it 2 seconds at the end. And that's plenty of time for them to read that final text, and you'll see it ends right where my voice pauses. So that's going to be great. So we've got this nice, lovely picture of our image, and then we're just going to put text with our benefits here. Now we're down to our final call to action. So one more scene. We'll add some text. Okay, I've selected any minute now. And what I want to do is I want to scroll over and make sure my playhead's at the beginning, because that's where the music will start, wherever my playhead is. And I just drag it into place. I'm going to turn it down, way down. It's always too loud for my taste. And it ends just about perfectly where I'd like it. Let's take a quick look, and then we'll be done. Are your water bills out of control? Acme sprinkler systems are the most efficient and environmentally friendly way to water your lawn. They use less than half the amount of water as other types of sprinklers, saving you money on your monthly bills while preserving your beautiful lawn. You'll never have to worry about wasting water and high water bills again with an Acme system installed. The best part is that they're easy to install and maintain, so you can spend more time enjoying your lawn instead of worrying about it. Click here for a free estimate from our team today. Now, I would do a little bit more fine-tuning on this video before I called it complete, but I think you get the basics of using the AIDA framework: attention, interest, desire, and action. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to create a Doodly invitation for back to school night.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
The kids are going back to school soon, and I know we have a lot of teachers using Doodly, so I thought it might be fun to go over how to make a video invitation for back to school night. Now, the video doesn't need to be long or complicated. In fact, it should be short and sweet. You can share it on your school's website, in a newsletter or email message, or on the school's social media pages. You could also upload it to YouTube and then create and send a flyer home with the kids, with the flyer containing a QR code that the parents can then scan to view the video. Of course, you're going to need the basic details to include. So here's my sample script. Just kind of covers an introduction, what's going to happen, when it's going to be, and so on. Before we start, think about the types of images to include. Since mine will have a presentation at the beginning, I might want to include some graphics that depict that, maybe a board with the text that introduces the presentation. I might even want to upload some photos of the school, or if I'm the teacher that's sending the invitation, maybe a map to my classroom would be helpful. Think about if you want to include a photo of yourself or use a doodly character. Will you add a voiceover or just music and text only? There's no right or wrong answer here. Similarly, think about your background. I'm going to use a blackboard since it's back to school. I'm going to use a doodly character to represent me, and I will do a voiceover. So let's get started. You'll see I've already kind of laid out some of my scenes here, and I did select a music track already. Now what I would like to do is add my voiceover, and then we can fine-tune the graphics, maybe add some more things, and go from there. So let's fine-tune this. We start by saying, "Hi, I'm Mrs. Jones, your child's 5th grade teacher, blah, blah, blah. Join us on September 25th from 5 to 7:30. So I need to put that detail in here. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and see how our timing is going to work out on this. I already am guessing it's probably going to be on too long, so I'm going to just shorten her for the moment. And this pencil doesn't need to take that long to draw. Right now, my music is at 100%. I'm going to turn it down because I am adding a voiceover. So 14% might be about right. Now I'm going to go down here to the microphone and I'm going to click this plus sign. When I'm ready, I'm going to click the red button and start my voiceover. Here we go. Hi, I'm Mrs. Jones, your child's 5th grade teacher. So my music is a little too short compared to my audio, so I'm just going to drag it over. And you'll see what I had done originally with this music is I had a long track and I just kind of shortened the beginning. So now I'm just going to add some of that back. If I right click here, I can fade it in. So it fades in nicely and no one necessarily needs to know that I'm starting in the middle of a song. Similarly, I had a pause. I had a 2-second pause before I began speaking, as you'll see with these little sound waves. So I'm going to just drag over here, tighten that up a bit, and then slide my audio over. So now I'm going to start talking right away. I think I want the name, Mrs. Jones, to come on before back to school night. It'll just line up with what I'm saying just a little bit better. Now, September 25th, I don't start talking about September 25th for a little bit longer, so I want to delay this. And the way you do a delay is you click the item, and right here where it says delay, it's by default, it's a 0 second. Well, we're going to change that. We're going to say 5 seconds. I do think that I want Mrs. Jones to come on before I draw it. And that doesn't affect my timing at all, so that should be fine. I would like a brief pause at the very end of this scene so that when I write presentation, classroom tours, refreshments, they can actually read it for a second or two after I write it. So I'm going to put 2 seconds. Now you may recognize this scene here. It's one of our pre-built scenes that comes stock in Doodly. In this example over here, if you look over here, it's a courtroom. Well, I wanted it to look more like a multi-purpose room or something that you'd have a conference in with a lot of people at a school. So what I did is I deleted all of the little boxes that make it look like a courtroom and the judges stand and everything. So I deleted those. I moved my characters into place. She looks like a librarian, so I kept her, and he looks like maybe a parent or a coach or a principal, so it's fine to have him. We could add a camera movement and zoom into that. So let's do that. You go over here to our camera movements, click the plus sign, drag your little effect over, double click. We're going to start full screen, and then we're going to end nice and tight on our board. We can reposition this as needed. Let's just see what it's looking like now. The night kicks off with a short presentation in the gym at 5. You don't want to miss it. Now we have this little map, and I created this custom line myself using just graphics design software. What we want to do is we want to mark her room. So we want to put her room number here, and I believe it's room 506. And you'll notice this white just kind of gets lost here. So let's go ahead and change that. We could invert it and it would turn it black, because black is the opposite of white. I think that looks nice. I'm going to position it on top of my map, and I am going to draw it, and then I'll have the line draw on. So let's see what that looks like. To room 506, where I'll share some important. Okay, I wanted to show you that because when you do a camera move, it just stays on that last position of the camera. So it was way too zoomed in for this. In this case, I'd actually like to be zoomed in at room 506 and then pull out to reveal the entire thing. So once again, you go back into your effect, position it where you'd like. I don't need to be super tight. I think something like that would be nice. And then at the end, I want it full screen. And then over here, we could add some text or graphics that represent the different activities that the teacher's going to go over. So let's just do something like this. Okay, this is looking nice, but I notice it's off-centered quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Command A or Control A if you're on Windows. And what that does is it selects everything. And now, using my arrow keys or my mouse, I can just slide it over. And it looks a little bit nicer, so more centered. I've added text, and that has added quite a bit of time to my video. So what if we made all of these 0 duration, so the hand is not going to draw them? And that buys us time, right? Now I need to move these all up so that they appear before room 506 is drawn on. This is going to be the last thing. Room 506 is going to be the last thing. And then let's add to the end of our scene. And that should be about right. So let's look at the final video. Hi, I'm Mrs. Jones, your child's 5th grade teacher. It's time for back to school night. Here you can learn about all the exciting things happening at school this year. Join us September 25th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. The night kicks off with a short presentation in the gym at 5. You don't want to miss it. From there, head to room 506, where I'll share some important information about upcoming activities, and I'll answer your questions. I can't wait to see you! And there you have it, a quick way to create an invitation to back to school night using Doodly. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to create and use simple graphics from PowerPoint and bring them into Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Microsoft PowerPoint is one of the most popular presentation software programs available. It's intuitive to use, and so many of us already have it. If you find yourself in need of shapes and other graphics, you can make them yourself in PowerPoint, then export them and then bring them into Doodly. You'll see here that everything on this screen, with the exception of the text, was made in PowerPoint. I've got a canvas style background. I have a 3D emoji. I have a circle with a gradient interior and a slight shadow, an alarm clock icon, and an animated GIF. So let's go ahead and go into PowerPoint and I'll show you how to make them. The first thing you want is a completely blank screen. Go into your Insert menu and you'll see right here, Shapes, Icons, 3D Models, Smart Art, and Chart. That's where we're going to be working. So for shapes, all you need to do is find one that you want. I'll often use squares and rectangles in Doodly. You just drag and create your shape. Use the shape fill to get the color you want. You can add some shadows if you'd like. So now I've got what looks like a button. You can adjust it and use whatever else you want to use in PowerPoint. Once you're happy with the shape, you can right-click it and export it, and I'll show you that in a second. Before we do that though, I want to mention that you might be tempted to make it really large because you want it to be nice and high resolution in Doodly. I would recommend making it smaller because once in Doodly, you're going to be limited to how large or small you can make the text. And if you export it as an SVG file, you can make it as large as you want, but you won't be limited to how small it can be. And I'll show you that, what I'm talking about right now. So first I'm going to make a large one. Right click, save as picture. Right here, you can save it as PNG or SVG. I recommend doing SVG. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Now I'm going to go into Doodly, start a new scene, go to props, click the blue plus sign, and I'm going to bring in my SVG file that I just created. It's here. Now what I want to show you is I can make it super big. As big as I want without any loss in quality because it's an SVG file. But I can only go as small as this. I can't go any smaller than that, okay? And if I wanted to use this as a button, like click here, that's way too big. So that's why I recommend when you're in PowerPoint, not going quite so large, okay? So let's make it smaller like this. And we'll right click, save as picture, type SVG, and I'm going to go ahead and overwrite my other one, it's fine. Now when we go to import it in Doodly, I shouldn't have to edit the size, and that's great. And here it is. I can make it as large as I'd like, but I can also make it much smaller. So let's delete that and let's insert something new. So go to Insert and let's try icons. And here are all of these wonderful icons that come pre-installed in PowerPoint, and you can use them. So let's just pick one. Let's say we need a baseball cap. So you select it, click Insert, right click, save as picture, give it a name, choose your type. I like to use SVG because you can increase them in size like I mentioned before. And go to props, blue plus sign, drag it in. And we now have a baseball cap. Again, if you wanted to change the appearance of this cap, you could certainly do that. Say we want a shadow, something like that you could do. And let's do a 3D model. These are really fun. So here's the emoji. That's how I did our emoji with the sunglasses. And what's neat, once you insert it, is you can spin it around, do whatever view that you'd like. Once you have the view you like, right-click, save as picture, and repeat the process that I've already shown you. Now, what about our little dog that I had? He's a little GIF file. So what we want to do is get rid of emoji here, go back. In this very first option, we have all animated models, animated animals, and animated for education. So these three are animated. So let's just pick all. And let's find one. See, here's the dog I found. So I used him. Now they don't have a huge selection, but there are quite a few, so you might find something that you like. So maybe let's use the drone. Insert. So if you're a photographer that does drone services, maybe you want to use something like this. And look, you can also change the view. So maybe you like that view a little bit better. So now to export this, the process is just a little bit different. While you can right-click, save as picture, and choose GIF from the list, it doesn't for some reason do the animation. So this export is going to be a little different. In this case, you want to go up to your file menu up at the top. Choose File, Export. And you get this screen. Now, by default, mine's going to PDF, so I want to change that, and I want to go to Animated GIF. And I want to make sure to make the background transparent, okay? So do that, and then click Export. Now we go back into Doodly. We can delete these guys if we'd like. You go to your Props tab, click the blue plus sign, and go ahead and bring in your GIF file. Now Doodly accepts GIF files just like it does PNGs and SVGs, but it supports the animation of them, and it's a really cool thing to have. So let's just go ahead and make this a little bit larger. Let's add a little bit of text. Let's add a little bit of time at the end so that we can see what's going on. Now let's go ahead and preview the scene. The hand draws on the drone, and then it starts animating. And that's the basics of creating PowerPoint graphics and using them in Doodly. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela, In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to create a business card video in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Creating an animated whiteboard business card is a great way to stand out from the crowd. You can use your little business card video for presentations or just as a fun and creative way to introduce yourself on social media platforms. So what is an animated business card anyway? As you'll see here, it's a short video that introduces you, your company, or product. It can be used in many different scenarios and on many different platforms to give the viewer an idea of who you are and what you have to offer them. And it's a creative way to stand out in today's noisy marketplace. Plus, in this case, we're replicating the business card format, so these short videos are quite easy to create in Doodly. As you'll see here, I chose a vertical format, and let me show you how to do that. Let's go back to my videos and we'll start from scratch. Click Create, New Video. Choose your background type. I think a whiteboard is fine. Let's just give it a name. Now over here in resolution, by default it's a 480p rectangle, but it's the horizontal rectangle. We want a 1080p, so high resolution, rectangle. Now if I were to choose 1080p, it's 1920 by 1080, but that's the horizontal format. So instead, I'm going to choose Custom. And over here, for width, instead of it being 1920, I want it to be 1080. And for height, I have to unlock the aspect ratio. So remove that check mark. Height, I want it to be taller, so 1920. So now I have my vertical format. Click Create, and we're ready to create our business card. So we need our text, we need an image, and our contact information. Really, that's all there is to it. So let's go ahead and go over to props. If you have a graphic of yourself that you want to upload or your logo, you would just click the blue plus sign and upload it and bring it into Doodly. I'm just going to choose an existing logo that I've been using. We'll take let's use this one, Best Chef. And we're going to put some text here. So if we wanted it top, I think that would look nice. Go over to text, select your font, double click to enter, and type it in. I'm going to say Executive Catering Service. Word wrap. Done. Now, make it pretty large. I'm going to center it. And we're going to add a little bit more text here. Special events. Now my text came out a little smaller than I'd like, so I'm going to Control or Command click all three at once. And now if I drag this arrow, I can make my text larger. And then we need a phone number. I think I would like it in this same font. I'm just going to copy and paste this, bring it down. Let's add a little color. Do the same here. That's looking pretty nice. And now we just need a hand. I think I used a cartoon hand in my example, so we'll do that here. And chefs tend to have these white jackets on, so let's try this one. Let's make sure the order is correct. So I want my logo first, and that's fine. Then I want Executive Catering Service to be next, and right now it's at the bottom, so I just need to bring that up. And then special events, personal chef, cookouts, and company picnic all need to be after this. So I'm just going to move my phone number, make it last. And I notice that that's slightly out of order. At the end, we want some time for that phone number to stay on screen. So let's say 7 seconds. And I would adjust these slightly, timing wise. I'll make 2 seconds to draw on my logo. And that can be 1.5 seconds. These shorter ones, maybe we can get away with 1 second each. So I'm just going to reduce those. And then we'll go a little slower on the phone number. So we're about 15 seconds long, and that's probably fine. Let's take a quick peek at it. And that looks great. It's very, very simple to do. To export it, click Export. And you'll notice that it remembered my custom settings. So it's ready to go to be exported in this vertical format. So now that we've created the video, how can you use it? Well, there's many different ways that you can use this type of video. Here are just a few examples. You can use it as a call to action at the end of your other Doodly videos. So all you would need to do is copy and paste these elements and then put them at the end of your other videos. You could also use it at the beginning or the end of a PowerPoint presentation. You could put it on your website's Contact Us page, or you could use it on social media. For example, if you're interacting with someone who asks for your contact information in a comment, you could respond with a video comment, and here it is. You could even convert your little business card video into an animated GIF file and include it in your email signature or in a newsletter. There are all kinds of online services that will do that for you. So just do a Google search for video to GIF converter and you'll find a bunch of them. A lot of them are free too. You can just do it online, download it, and you have a GIF. And that's the basics of creating a business card video in Doodly. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, I'll show you how easy it is to make a wedding announcement video in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Most couples want to announce their marriage with a video on social media, but they don't know where to start. Well, if you have Doodly, you can start here. You can use your own photos from the ceremony and add some text. You can even add some Doodly graphics for some extra flair if you'd like. These are fun videos to make, and it only takes a few minutes. Here's what you need: a couple of wedding photos, about 10 minutes of time, and some audio. So if you have audio from the ceremony of you guys saying your vows to each other, that would be really nice. Or you could recreate the vows by just recording them right here and now. And you could, of course, can always add some background music if you'd like. So I came up with some vows and I used some robot voices to record them just as an example. And we'll use those. And then I have a couple of stock photos that I'm using for the wedding couple. So these are not real people that have gotten married, but it will give you an idea of what possibilities you could use for your own wedding announcement. So let's go ahead and get started. I like this first image, and I'm gonna just change this text. You can't really see it because I have it white. but I'm going to change it to say just married. And right now it's coming across as black, so click on the gear icon, click color, choose white if you'd like. For this photo, I think the white stands out a little bit better. If you'd like to add their names, you could do that. So we're just going to go ahead and turn this white and this white. We'll do something like that. So we've got it started. Now what I want to do is use two photos. So I have a second photo and I'm going to want it to fade in and kind of dissolve between the two. So it's kind of a real flowy, romantic feeling of this video. So let's go ahead and grab that. I already have it uploaded, so I'm just going to bring it in. I'm going to say add because I don't want to replace this. And now let's size it so it fills the screen. And that looks pretty nice. Before I do these techniques, I want to show you what it looks like by default, and then we'll go over the steps to change it. So here's what it looks like by default. The hand scribbles on drawing number 1. The hand writes the words, just married, and that looks pretty good, but oh, he erases it, and then he scribbles on the next photo. So in my opinion, it's not very flowy and romantic, right? So we want to change that. So the first thing we want to do, let's add a delay before this photo comes on, before the second photo comes on. And let's say 5 seconds. And then let's make sure we have sufficient time at the end of the scene. I think I do. I have 10 seconds right now at the end of the scene, and I think that's going to be about right. It's still doing all that scribbling stuff. So let's go over here to video settings. And you want to, first of all, turn off the erase. So erase mode needs to be off, so that way the hand doesn't erase that first image. And then we want to turn the scribbling off. So let's start with the first photo. And you'll see I can't control my editing tools. So go over here and hit the minus button until your little toolbar appears, okay? Now you can control. So click the pencil, and right here, reveal mode. Right now it's draw, that's where it does this scribble. I'm gonna change it to fade. Now it's gonna fade on nicely. We wanna do that to our second photo. Edit with the pencil, reveal mode, fade. Save and return. And now it should look exactly as I like it. So let's go ahead and preview it. Fade on. The hand comes in. Says just married, blah, blah, blah. We have about 5 seconds to look at this. And then it should come in with a nice dissolve, just like that. And that looks beautiful. It's much more romantic feeling than the scribbles. So now all we need to do is add our soundtrack and music. So you're going to click over to the Sounds tab. In this case, I've already done the recording. So I used robot voices, and I'm going to go ahead and upload that. I'm just going to drag it into my voiceover timeline. So here it is. And it looks like my timing's good. I'm now going to find some music. So I'm going to click over to music. I'm going to find a background track. And let's just pretend this is a really romantic one. And bring it in. Of course, it's too long and it's too loud, so we're going to adjust for that. Go over here, hover till you get the double-sided arrow, and then drag it over. And then right-click. Choose fade out, and then make a nice slow fade by dragging it. And then tap on the speaker icon and turn it down. I like to go down like 10% because I don't want this music drowning out my voices. And we are pretty much done. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and listen as our robot voices recite their vows.
I vow to hold you in love and light,
To be your best friend, your icon, the shrine of your soul.
to be the warmth in life's coldest moments,
To heal your wounds, to uplift you when you're down.
to stand by you when you're out of strength.
I will love you in the dark and in the light, in good times and throughout bad.
I will be your constant champion, so long as we both shall live.
And there we have it, a wedding announcement video in Doodly. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to create a vocabulary list for your class in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Looking for a way to increase student engagement in the classroom? One way you could do it is by using an animated whiteboard video to post your weekly vocabulary list. With its visual format, you can use graphics to help students grasp each word's meaning, and you could even use those same graphics at the end and make a quiz or a game show out of identifying the right word. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is my list of 5 vocabulary words. I'm just using 5 for now. Maybe you have 10. It doesn't really matter, whatever you usually do in your classroom. And we're going to create this. So what we want to do is start with a title that's going to tell the students what they're looking at. So obviously it's a vocabulary list, right? So we need to add a title that says just that. So it's very simple. Just grab your font and we're going to give it a title. Now this is just an image, a screenshot of my list. I'm just going to use it for now as a placeholder so I know what I'm doing. So what we want to do is go ahead and write the list of words. So we want to give them an overview first before we go in and show all the different images, right? So let's go ahead and type them in. So my first word is calm. I'm going to do another one. The second word is huge. At this point, I'm not worried about the layout. I just want to get the words in, okay? Now that I have my words, I'm just going to go ahead and list them. Now we have the words listed. In the next scene, we'll go one by one through the words and add their definitions. But for now, if we want, we can add a character. Let's just add the kids, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I can delete my list for now. And I think let's have them at the beginning. Let's go ahead and preview it. Actually, I'm going to have them at the end. Now, because you're going to be using this in the classroom, you're going to want to leave this screen on for enough time for the kids to write down each word on their note papers, right? So we're going to have this come in last. It's going to take 3 seconds to draw, and let's give some time at the very end of the scene for the kids to write down the words. So let's just say 15 seconds. You may need to adjust it depending on how long you think it'll take. So after they've written down their vocabulary words, we want to define them. So let's add a new scene. And we're going to start with our first word, which was calm. So if you want, go back here. You can copy this list and then define each word all on one screen. Or you can do one word per scene. Today I'm going to do one word per scene. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this first word. It's an easy enough word I could just type it in as well, but for today. So let's go ahead and put this here. Calm. Maybe we want it larger. And we need its definition. Borrow my little cheat sheet once again. It's got the definition. State of peace or being free from stress or worry. You can decide how you want it to be. Do you want it centered or not? And then, because we have space and because this is a highly visual format, we can add something that illustrates what this is. So calm. What illustrates calm? You could have a character doing yoga. Okay, so now we just need our next word. So add a new scene, go back, and our next word is huge. Huge. And our cheat sheet, extremely large. Okay, so we just go ahead and get another piece of text here, and we type in adjective. I won't need word wrap on that one. So again, what we want to do is make our word large and then our definition here. Delete that. What can we use to illustrate huge? Well, we can pick an object. We could pick, an object here and have one large and one small. Yeah, let's do an elephant. It would be kind of fun to have him like cover up the graphics a little bit because he's so big, but I'm not sure about that. Because the students, they need to be able to copy and paste or write down the definition. So let's do something like that. And then we could have a mouse just to show the size difference. If we want to get fun, we could add a little speech bubble. Okay, so we have 2 of our words done. Now, again, they're going to need time to write this down, okay? So let's make sure we give them that time. Again, let's just say 15 seconds. You'll need to fiddle with this and get the timing according to your students' abilities and what you know about them. I'm going to do the same on this one, scene settings. 15 seconds. And we just need something to illustrate a note. So let's type in note. So there we go. That's pretty basic. Again, we want our 15 seconds at the end. Our next word is decide. And our definition is a verb to make a choice. So now we need someone making a choice. So we could have someone looking maybe confused. Let's have a kid this time. This. I just copied and pasted it so it'd be the same size. This or that. So she has to make a choice between something. And I think that's fine. And our last word is invite. to ask someone to do something or come somewhere. This is a longer definition, so I'm going to turn on word wrap. Verb. And that looks pretty good. And now we just need something to illustrate invite. So maybe we have somebody with an invitation in their hand. So let's say paper. I love a kid. Here we go. We have a kid. And let's find another kid. Again, we can use text to help illustrate this. So again, I'm going to use the speech bubble. And once again, we need our 15 seconds. Now, if you'd like, you can add some background music. Let's go ahead and let this last word be a little longer. Just make it fit our music, okay? And I am going to turn the music down a little bit. And there you have it, a short little video lesson on your weekly vocabulary words. Now, of course, you can show this to the students in the classroom. If you're teaching remotely, it's great for that. And you could also send a link to parents and let them use it during homework time to help the students memorize their vocabulary words. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to create a short video to celebrate a real estate closing.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Doodly videos are a great way to share in the happiness that surrounds us, including celebrating our business wins. Today, we're going to go over how you can use Doodly whiteboard animation software to create a fun and memorable closing celebration for your real estate customers. Not only is this a nice gesture, but it's also a great way to showcase what you can do for your clients. It's social proof in action. First, you're going to need a photo of the happy new homeowners and their permission, of course, to share it for marketing purposes. Be sure not to publicize the home's actual address though, as you will want to ensure your buyer's privacy. And while you're at it, make sure that your buyers are comfortable with you using their names or tagging them on social media. Some might prefer to remain anonymous, while others will be happy to share their success with others. Now, what if they don't want to be on camera at all? You can still create a celebratory video. Today we'll do both. So let's get started. You'll see here that I already have a photo of my fictional couple, and they've got their house keys and they're standing in front of the house, and I think that looks great. Now we can make this full size if we'd like, or we could do something where we want to add some text to celebrate it and maybe put your company logo and whatnot. That's what I'm going to do today. I do want to add a little graphic that says sold. I downloaded this from one of the sites that you can get royalty-free images from. It was Pixabay or FreePic or one of those. You'll see Doodly also has in their enterprise version their own version as well. Now, how do I want this to be drawn on? I don't want it scribbling on, so I'm clicking the pencil icon, changing reveal mode from draw to fade. And I'm going to do the same for my sold sign. And then I'm just going to add some text here. So first of all, let's say where the house is. Again, we don't want to give away these people's addresses, but we could certainly say what community it's in. So let's say San Diego. So that's telling your future clients that you sell houses and can find houses in San Diego. And then over here, let's just add some text. And then all we need now is to add our logo. I'm going to change the font so it matches our San Diego. And then finally, let's just add the website. And again, I'm going to change this so that it fades on. I want this to come on fairly quickly. And we'll add a couple seconds at the end. And it's about 16 seconds long, which is great for sharing on social media. So let's go ahead and take a peek. And that looks great. If you wanted, you could use your voice to say something here, or you could add music, or you could just leave it. It says that not all of these videos have to have audio. Now, what if our clients don't want to appear, they don't want their photos, they don't want their name? So how are you going to celebrate that? Well, you can do it by swapping out the photo for just the house. So let's go ahead and find the photo of the house. Let's just pretend it's this one. And we can still leave the community and sold, that's fine. Now, we don't want to say their names, so we could say another house sold. And then it was a pleasure helping these clients find their dream home. And there you have it. Now we have one without the clients appearing. We just have their home and a nice message saying, hey, another house sold. It was a pleasure helping these clients find their dream home. Now this one is super easy. You can swap out the photo every time you have a new house sold. So go ahead and save this as a template, and then you can use and customize it whenever you sell a house. And that's the basics. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to create a basic organization chart in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Do you need to illustrate the hierarchy of your business? Doodly is a great way to connect the dots. Today, we're going to create a simple organization chart. Now, I went ahead and downloaded a few headshots of people for a fictional company, and I'd like to make an organization chart showing who reports to whom. You'll see that I've selected photos that have a plain background, and I used some editing tools to make them the same size and shape. So they look consistent across the board. They all have a thin black border around them, and I think that really helps just to give it a cohesive look. You'll notice that I have the numbers 250 by 250 written down, and I just wanted to remind you to size your photos fairly small to begin with before you upload them into Doodly. And the reason I want to do that is because if you have them too large, you can't shrink them down too much. You're limited as far as what size you can shrink them. For example, if I click on this lady here, I can make her go quite a bit smaller. That's as small as it'll allow me to go, and that's probably about as small as I would go. However, if this file was a larger size, I wouldn't be able to shrink it down to these nice little square sizes that I currently have. So let's go ahead and we'll get rid of this and add some titles and names to our organizational chart. And the reason I want to do this before we add the lines is because it's going to affect our layout. I like the font and size for both of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and Control click to select them both at the same time, and then Control or Command C for copy, and then Control or Command V for paste. Now I have an identical selection here, and I'm just going to do that. I'm going to paste again and again. So let's give this guy a name. He'll be our Chief Technical Officer. Okay, so I have my titles and names, and that has affected my layout. I do need to move things around just a little. It seems a little crowded down here. So let's go ahead, Control click to group your items, and I want to move her up just a touch. Give us a little breathing room for these three. And then I also want to move both Ralph and Francis up, because they're just a little too close to the bottom. And I think that looks nice. Control A to select them all, and I might just shrink them down just a touch. I do need room for, company name organization chart, so maybe I will go a little smaller. Okay, so the layout's just fine. Now we need to add the lines, and there are a couple ways you can do it. We'll start with the Doodly way, where we already have some lines and arrows pre-installed. So if we go over to Props, Categories, Shapes, and now you have some lines and arrows that you can use. Now, one of the problems that you may run into is you might not be able to get your items small enough. For example, see, this is the same issue with uploading photos that are too big. You can't get them small enough. So this might not work very well. It should be okay for this. We can go like that, and then we can copy and paste it. And that works fine for this particular case, but it's going to be too big for Rick to Ralph and Rick to Francis. I think the same is going to be true with these arrows. Well, we could use these arrows here. And for continuity, let's go ahead and delete this one. And this one, we could do the same with this. And then one more for Alicia and This was kind of problematic because it's too big. So of course you could rearrange the chart a little bit to make these arrows work. And that's one way to do it. And I like that in many cases it'll be just fine. But I did want to show you how you could do some custom line drawings and it'll give it a really neat look. Now you will need to use another graphics editing program, like if you have Photoshop or one of those. So this is an advanced optional technique, okay? So not everybody's gonna be able to do it, but I did want to show you how you could do it. So once I have the chart laid out the way I like it, I'm gonna take a screenshot of it. I've imported my screenshot into Pixelmator Pro. It's a photo editing software program. You can use Photoshop or any of the other Affinity Designer, what have you, that support layers. So I'm going to add an empty layer. And what I want to do is draw my lines on top. And then eventually I'm going to turn off this background and I'll only have the lines left. And that's what I'm going to export to Doodly. But I do need the background to show so I know where to draw these lines. Now I'm using my paint tool. I've selected a gel pen and I'm just going to use red. I think that'll be fine. And I think this brush size will be fine. And once I have it, I'm just going to start drawing my lines. And I like them being kind of loosey-goosey because remember, the Doodly hand is going to be drawing these for us as well. So it needs to look like it's hand drawn, so it don't have to be precise and neat. And I like that. That's going to be just fine. So now I'm going to turn off my background and I have these ugly lines that I'm going to export. I want to make sure to choose PNG because I need these lines to be on a transparent background. So now that they're drawn, let's go back over here. We want to go to our all categories so we get our blue plus sign back, and we're going to add those lines that we just exported just a moment ago. Here they are. So now I need to just size it appropriately. This will take a little fiddling to get it just right. And that's pretty good. So now all we need to do is tell Doodly what order to draw these lines. So of course, click on the pencil icon and we want to tell Doodly how to draw them. So you're going to go on your first path and you're going to click and like so. We can make the path size much fatter. So it doesn't matter. And then we need our new path, and then we'll have it go here. Remember, these paths don't need to be super precise on this because there's nothing, it's just going to reveal nothingness. Do a new path, and one more, and our last one. Now before we preview, I want to turn off erase mode. That way the hand won't erase something. And then let's set some extra time at the end. Let's just say 10 seconds. This will depend on what your use case is for this. You may want to add voiceovers introducing each person or add some music or what have you. Let's just go ahead and take a look and then we'll be done. So here we have the hand drawing on their names and titles. This is where you can introduce each one if you'd like. Again, you could have music if you prefer, and you could certainly speed this up. And now we have the hand drawing the lines. And there you have it, how to create a basic organization chart in Doodly. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over working with DAS files in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Doodly is an awesome app that allows you to take your doodles and turn them into digital creations. It has a lot of features, but one you may not be familiar with is its ability to import and share digital assets in the form of DAS files. Now, this little starburst here is a very simple graphic that I created in a graphics design tool. Now, I've gone ahead and I've uploaded it into Doodly, as you can see, and I did create the drawing paths. Now, while this is a simple example, the same holds true for your more complex images. Now, what if I have a friend, a colleague, or a client who uses Doodly and might want to use this same exact file? Of course, I could share the original graphic with them as a PNG or SVG, but then they'd have to create their own drawing paths. Now, this is a simple example, but if I had a more complicated image with more complex drawing paths, it would be really valuable to them to not have to do it themselves. So how do I share it with them? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to navigate to the item in your list. In this case, it's in my props, and it's right here at the top. And you right-click on it, and you choose this little share button. You enter a name for your DAS file, and then your friend's email address. And off it goes. The asset is sent to the person's email. So what if you're the one who receives the DAS file? Or what if you want to send instructions to the other person on how to import it into their Doodly? Well, it's super simple. So in this example now, we're going to pretend I'm someone else, and I have received a DAS file. In this case, it's a character. So what I want to do is I want to go over to my Characters tab, and I want to hit the blue plus sign. This is just like importing any other graphic, but in this case, it happens to be a DAS file rather than a PNG or JPEG or GIF or SVG. So here it is. This is the one that somebody sent me. His name is Bill, and he's a little happy guy. If I want to give a description, I could go ahead and say Bill, heavyset, man, happy. And it imported just as expected, just like any other graphics format. I can resize him. But what you'll notice is the drawing paths are already there. So I don't have to do anything. I can just go ahead and use the character and enjoy the fact that Doodly will draw it automatically for me. And that's the basics of working with DAS files. Thanks for watching.